All right, let's kick the band under the table and do our intro. Welcome to our live star party. I am Frank Kane with my lovely family here as our co-hosts. We have my daughter, Emily Kane. Say hello.
Hello.
And Tori Kane, other daughter, and wife, Kerri Kane. That's your name, right?
Hello. Yes, I think so.
All right, excellent. Today's main event is going to be the Whirlpool Galaxy, also known as M51, Messier 51. But first, let's talk about some recent news since the last time we did one of these. Mm-hmm. We got a picture of a real black hole a couple of weeks ago, right?
Cue the ooh.
And it looks
but
like
it
that.
actually is, really.
It's the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, kind of looks like that.
And that's the first black hole ever photographed, right?
It is, yeah. See, even you heard about it.
I know, and I don't care.
You just can't escape it.
Yeah.
I know.
It's all
it's
over
like
the social medias, you know?
Really? It was on
Can't
over yours
escape
too?
it. It
I was
was.
wondering about that. Because, I'm a nerd and I subscribe to all these, astronomy feeds and stuff. So, as soon as I opened up my computer that day, it was just
It's
everywhere, right? Black hole
transcended.
pictures. It was. But it's a big deal, and here's a nice little explainer video published by the National Science Foundation, kind of talking about what it is in a little bit more depth. But basically, they looked at the heart of M87, which is a supermassive galaxy. And in the middle of M87 is a supermassive black hole shooting out streams of matter, I might add. And they actually made a Earth-sized telescope by linking together all of the radio telescopes around the world to actually take a picture of the shadow of this black hole. And you can see it silhouetted against the light that's bending around it, as you can see in this visualization here. So what you're seeing is kind of the light behind it getting twisted up and kind of messed up by the black hole. And that black thing in the center is the shadow of the black hole itself. Isn't that cool?
It is.
That is cool.
It is cool, and so were all the memes that came off of this. I loved them.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And, it kind of bothered me that a lot of people are like, oh, it's so fuzzy. I mean, this is a black hole 55 million light years away. It's amazing we can see this at all.
It's just like Bigfoot. I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's all a hoax.
It's fake. It's not real. So did you say, sorry, I was zoning out there. The glowing stuff on the bottom there, what's all that?
That's light being bent around the black hole.
Oh, and how come it's all just on the bottom there?
Funny you should ask, because you remember what the black hole looked like in the movie Interstellar?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the one thing that Interstellar got wrong. It's actually brighter on one side than the other. And the reason is because the light's kind of spinning around the black hole, right?
Yeah.
And the light that's coming toward you is actually brighter than the light that's moving away from you on the other side.
True.
And
I still thought they did a really good estimating what a black hole looked like compared to what it actually ended up looking like.
they were actually spot on, except for that one little detail. So that's pretty cool. And, theorists, theoreticians, astrophysicists, whatever you want to call them, probably could have told you that. But that's what's really cool. The image itself actually agrees with all of our theories about what black holes should look like.
Right.
And
It's amazing. Yeah.
once again, Einstein is right.
No, too bad it's fake. Fake picture.
Yeah, it's all part of the hoax.
Moon landing hoax.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a way for scientists to steal millions of dollars, right?
I know, right?
Yep.
Flat Earth and all that. This
But
don't
no!
even get us started.
I can prove you all wrong.
I
I shall, actually. So a little bonus here. Actually, we have our telescope, Scopy McScope face, pointing at M87 right now.
Scopy cam.
Ooh, and that's our live image of Scopy McScope face, our beloved telescope. And right now, it is looking at M87. So let's take a look at what that looks like right now. That's a live image from our telescope there. And what's really cool, you see that little thing coming out of the middle there? Spewing out from the center?
Yeah, yeah.
That is actually a stream of matter being spat out by that very black hole that we just looked at.
Wow. Okay,
And-
that's awesome.
Was it like Brussels sprouts or something?
Yeah.
I do not like that food.
beans or something?
Yeah, something I didn't like.
Something like that.
Chili
yeah.
pepper.
Yeah, hydrogen gas. It's actually not all that different from a Brussels sprout, come to think of it. Just a different kind of gas.
See?
It's
being
just
spewed
belching
out.
it up. Yeah.
But I think that's awesome. Like with
That's
my
really
my
cool.
telescope right here, looking at it right now, live,
This
Yeah.
black hole.
we can actually see crap getting spewed out
The black hole is munching
of a black
away.
hole. Yes, that's kind
It's
of awesome. I think.
belching away.
And that too.
Totally. But yeah, it's a big
neat.
deal. And what's really cool is that it was like this international cooperation thing, right? So they
Yeah.
actually linked together all of these radio telescopes around the world. And by putting them all together on different sides of the Earth, they actually basically constructed an Earth-sized radio telescope.
Hey, working together, world. Yeah.
No
love
way
when-
it's real.
Science does that. None of it's real. Nothing is real.
Strawberry fields. But yeah, they linked together all these different radio telescopes all around the world in Chile and
That's
also
amazing.
in
Look at those.
I just love looking at these things. They're just so cool to look at. Yeah, these are all just looking at radio frequencies as opposed to visual. And the cool thing about radio is that you don't have to wait till night to look for this stuff. You know, this stuff can actually operate during the day as well, which, you know, makes it a whole lot easier.
Love to see those move in person.
Yeah. So would I.
Didn't you when you went to Santa Fe or?
Yeah, I actually went to visit the Very
Albuquerque?
Large Array in New Mexico, which is actually 3 hours outside of Albuquerque. So you have to really want to get there because it's really far out in the middle of nowhere.
And did they move while you were there? Or?
They did not. Here,
Okay.
I have a picture. Oh, that's a cool one. That's one in Spain. There's actually another one at the South Pole. I thought that's what that was at first, but
Spain.
yeah, Spain, South Pole, it's all the same.
Totally.
Totally the same thing.
Because I wonder how loud they are, you know, when they move or...
Yeah, I mean, you know, given how smoothly they must have to move, I would think they would be fairly quiet, but who knows? I've never actually seen it. But yeah, they're Hawaii. It's a good excuse to go to Hawaii.
It's a good place to visit.
See, that's why it's all a hoax,
Hi,
right?
Shirami.
Because it's just an excuse for scientists to go to Hawaii
There you go.
and the South Pole, apparently.
Same thing.
It's a great
Same thing.
vacation
That's
spot.
why.
Exactly the same thing. But yeah, I actually got to visit the Very Large Array, which was part of this effort in New Mexico, and there's a picture of me. Let's just look at my vacation photos for an hour here, shall we?
Yes.
A little slideshow. It'll
All
be
your
great.
selfies.
And they were just pointing straight up all
They were,
over?
they were just like in maintenance mode when I was there, so they were just kind of like pointing straight
That's
up. while
really neat, though. They
worked on
must have...
stuff.
They look pretty huge.
They are pretty huge. It was really an awesome thing, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah,
neat.
that's the latest astronomy news.
Yeah.
Our
Very
first
good.
ever
Good
pictures.
stuff. Even though it's fake.
Probably enough.
It's not fake. Look, I have the pictures to prove it.
Yes.
Real. See? Real.
But anyway, the main reason we're here tonight is to look at the Whirlpool Galaxy, right?
That was a request from someone.
That was. And yes, we do requests. And if you have a request for something to us to look at next time or whenever we can,
Right.
feel free to
Yeah.
put it in the comments of this video. And
it's
we'll-
gonna-
Whirpool Galaxy was a request, actually.
That was, too.
So, yes.
Yes. See, we do listen, guys.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to be looking at the Whirlpool Galaxy tonight and just give you a sneak preview of what it looks like. This is a picture I took of it a couple of
love
weeks
it.
ago. And
So pretty.
yeah, it's a really cool galaxy. It's called M51, but it's really two galaxies for the price of one, right? So there's actually M51A, the large one here, and M51B, which is the smaller one that's currently behind it.
Now, all that stuff around the little one, I mean, is that what the size of it was before it started to merge with the other one, or?
Hard to say. Like, everything's just been kind of like messed up as they've been interacting with each other.
Right,
So, you know,
yeah.
that smaller one, M51B, also known as NGC something.
Yeah.
They all have different catalog
It's
numbers.
little buddy.
Yeah, it's Little Buddy, we'll call it that. Like, it doesn't know what its name is, right? Like, why do we bother naming these things?
It's more like a little nom. It's eating it.
Yeah. But anyway, it's been kind of passing back and forth between the main galaxy there and kind of getting more and more messed up over time, I would think.
Now, I wonder, now that's a dwarf galaxy, right? But, so was that one large at one point, I wonder?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, you know, this is all 30 million light years away, and it's been going on for hundreds of millions of years. So all we can do is kind of like make our best guess, I think.
Because it's kind of like just the center of a spiral galaxy now, right? It ate all the rest of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, just
Pac-Man.
the inner core of it is what it looks
Yeah.
like, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that
what I was
fuzzy
thinking.
stuff is all stars, really. I mean, you're looking at millions of stars here. And
Because that's creating new stars.
yeah, and-
Strangely
gas.
enough,
Yep.
it really is. It's feeding it. It's like, yes,
right.
make more stars.
That gas, and that's a really good thing for that galaxy, because, yeah, that's
Yep.
new material for stars.
Yep.
So without further ado, let's slew the telescope over there.
There
And
it goes. Ready, and...
well, let's see. Hopefully it will work.
Did you say slew?
Slew, yes, that is a technical term for moving your telescope.
Oh, boy.
Slew?
Slew. Look, I have a button to prove it. See,
You have a
slew.
you
The
have a
button says
slew
slew.
button.
There's actually a
thought that
slew
was-
button.
There's a slew button.
How do you spell that, slew?
Like, I slew the dragon.
Yes.
Or a whole slew of things? Has a
probably
number
right,
of
yeah.
definitions.
Okay, I'm sorry. I believe you.
Dang right. All right. We have M51, which is the official designation. So let's do a closed loop slew even, shall we?
Very technical.
And let's check out the scope cam while it rotates over to it.
I love that thing.
Freak out the neighbors. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
They-
yeah.
They're used to it by now.
So yeah, we were doing a closed loop slew, where it actually took a picture of the Whirlpool Galaxy there, a really quick one just to align it. But now we're actually going to take a longer
There it
exposure
is.
one.
You can see it.
You can see both of them, actually.
It's really
You
small,
can,
actually.
yeah.
But the best is
Quite
yet to
small.
come, guys. So let's go to our little camera button here.
How small is really small?
Well, how small is it? It's so small. It's about a quarter to a third of the size of our Milky Way galaxy, we think.
That's right. It is a
Fair
smaller one.
Yep. And it is rather small in the sky as well, as you just saw. But let's go to our
And
live
you can see
stack.
that with binoculars, actually.
Yes, it's a pretty bright object, actually, so it's easy to see. I mean, Charles Messier saw it in the 1700s. He's the guy that discovered it, right?
Yeah. Wasn't it
Yeah.
like the first identified spiral galaxy?
Yeah, I think so. Let me just kick this off. Set up our calibration frames.
So in that video, in the image before, it had like pink and red. What was that? It looks like showed a path.
Yeah, there's like dust lanes, right? And actually, while we're waiting for this first image to come in, NASA was kind enough to provide us with a video of what this actually looks like in X-ray wavelengths. So this is from the Chandra X-ray Observatory.
Ooh.
This is actually a composite false color image of visible light and X-ray light. And now they faded into just optical wavelengths there. It's still, kind of enhanced. It looks like they kind of like brought out the hydrogen areas there where new stars are being born
And
in
the
red.
hole, the black hole is there.
Yeah, we do think there's a black hole in the middle of this one too. So that's something that M51 has in common with M87.
Yeah.
They both have black holes in the center.
Supermassive black hole.
And they were both
Yep.
discovered by Charles Messier, the French astronomer.
That's cool.
Yes.
How pretentious.
Oui, oui. But
Oui, oui.
the funny story about that is Charles Messier, let's go back to our live image here, coming in from the scope here. Let's zoom in a little bit. But Messier was actually cataloging these things in the sky. They didn't know what they were at the time because they didn't know that other galaxies existed yet in the 1700s. The reason he was looking for these things was because they annoyed him. He was actually interested in finding comets, and there were all these things in the sky that were like fuzzy blobs that looked like comets, but they weren't. So he wanted to catalog all of them because they were messing up his comet observations. Yep.
There's probably like so many comets within those two.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. But yeah, it wasn't until like 1922 when Edwin Hubble, the guy that they named the Hubble telescope after, figured out that these are actually entire distant galaxies full of billions or even trillions of stars in each one.
It's so pretty.
Yep.
Yeah, it already looks great.
This
So, yeah.
is live.
Definitely.
This is live coming
Yeah.
from
The weird thing in the driveway.
the weird thing on the tripod.
Yes.
It moves
Very
by
Scopey.
itself.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, you can definitely see the arms already. You can tell how they named it. It looks like Whirlpool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a pretty obvious spiral, and they think that interaction with the other galaxies is kind of what made it really, really spiral-y, if that's a word.
It looks pretty pristine considering how messed up that little one is too.
Yeah, it's weird how that works. In a lot of interacting
kind of
galaxies,
is,
one of them
yeah.
looks less messed up than the other. It's like one of them wins.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting too, since you started doing this, and with the photos and everything, that every galaxy looks different. I never knew that. I just thought, they all look the same, but they all have something different going on.
There's a lot of different types of them too, yes.
That's true. This is a
Yeah.
spiral galaxy. There's also elliptical galaxies, which is what M87 is that we looked at earlier. And there's lenticular galaxies, irregular galaxies, and
Yeah.
they all have their own little
strange-shaped
category.
ones,
That's
distorted
irregular.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was kind of interesting. Like something that I never noticed until someone pointed it out was that there's really only two spiral arms in this galaxy.
Yeah.
So like you look at it, it looks like this really complicated thing, but it's really just two tendrils wrapped around itself, right?
Two really
Yeah.
long arms.
Yeah.
Pulling
I
in the
think-
sad little friend.
Pulling on its
Oh,
sad
yeah.
little friend.
Or it's giving it a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's giving
let's
it a
say
hug.
it's doing that.
It's about falling into a whirlpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually kind of an illusion that they look like they're connected. I mean, they are definitely interacting with each other, but we think that the smaller one is actually a little bit behind the other one right now.
Yeah, it looks like the arms are like in front of it.
Right.
So do you think it'll survive? Like it'll make it
No.
away? It's gonna get absorbed.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've read, astronomers, and by the way, we are not real astronomers. We're totally faking it. Well, she is.
Poser.
Yes, totally.
Certified.
Totally.
As long as we're talking about hoaxes.
I took a class in it.
Certified hoaxes.
Actually, yeah, I mean, Tori here is probably the most qualified astronomer in the room, to be honest.
Yeah, I had a class on it, so.
Yep. Very cool. Yeah, it's actually looking better and better over time. So what's happening is it's actually taking a bunch of 30-second pictures and combining them together. So every 30 seconds, we're getting more and more information added into this image, which is why it's getting more and more clear as time goes on.
It's already looking really good.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, we've only been looking at it for 3.5 minutes so far, and already we're getting quite a bit of detail.
Wow.
This is a monochrome camera, and the reason we're doing that is because they're more sensitive. So they're better for galaxies like this.
Yeah. As you can see, it had like red and blue if you do color.
Will you be able to add color to the final image, though? Or will you be able to extract it somehow? Or...
Well, the way it works is basically you put different color filters in front of the monochrome camera, and then later on you can combine them all together to make a color image.
Okay.
So if you look at Scopey McScope face here, at the top there is the camera, and underneath that is a filter wheel.
Okay.
And that automatically puts different filters in front of the camera, so I can do red, green, and blue filters, and then later combine them together in software to...
just like Instagram software.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know, actually,
some good
it's all image
filters.
processing. It's all the same thing, right?
Instagram's got some good filters for galaxies.
Yeah.
I've used some, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah. And, you know, you end up with an image like that, which is sort of the wider field version of the picture that I took earlier.
And you can zoom in on that, and there's other galaxies around there.
Yeah, that's the trippy thing. You know, you can actually see oftentimes in these photos of galaxies, other more distant galaxies in the background. So if you look down the lower left there, there's another galaxy, and there's another
I
galaxy
see
there.
them. Yeah, it's kind of like every time you do these, you get like another like Hubble Deep Field kind of image.
Yeah.
And then up at the top?
That's just a really bright star, I think. You can even see a little tiny galaxy that's edge on in the upper right corner of this image too, if you look closely.
It's a UFO.
With all the lizards.
Yes, that's where the lizard people live.
That's where they came
imported
from.
there, yeah.
Yes, that's their origin, their home world.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. See, you learned something.
100% factual information.
Totally. And yeah, you can't quite see that in this image yet, not with 5 minutes of exposure time. That one we just looked at was more like, 12 hours or something crazy.
It's still trippy. This is live.
You watched it for 12 hours live?
No, I did not.
Oh.
I did not. Sorry to
fan.
disappoint. The cool thing about Scopey McScopeface is that it can just run automatically all night long. So I can just say, go take a picture of this thing, and I go to bed.
And it doesn't go to bed.
It doesn't. I don't let it sleep.
It's a very hard worker.
That's
Yeah.
probably illegal.
Yeah, it probably is. But robots don't have rights yet, so hey, I'm going to exploit them.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's really cool if you, got a really good long night of dark, clear skies. You can shoot a couple of things if you want to.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a robot.
Like birds.
No.
Hunt down there.
Well, birds don't really come out at night, so...
Okay, back.
So back to the Whirlpool.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Anything else you can tell us about it?
Um,
Has a little dusty bridge connecting the two because it's consuming the other one.
yeah, I mean, really, it's just another spiral arm, kind of a tendril going out there, right? I mean,
They're holding hands.
we pretty much covered it, honestly. It's, 30 million light years away, roughly. There's two of them, discovered by Charles Messier, and, really, it's just a fun, really pretty galaxy
And
to
you
look
can
at.
see it with binoculars, like I said.
Yes.
So you don't need a fancy telescope.
You do not. Just go buy a pair of these guys, and you can see the Whirlpool Galaxy with your own eyeballs. Obviously, it won't look quite as detailed as that, but you can see it.
You can say you've seen some really distant photons if you look at it with those.
Your own physical proof that it's all real.
Yep.
And you can only see certain things at certain times of the year. Like right now, for us here in Florida, galaxies are what we can see, right?
Yeah, pretty much for the whole northern hemisphere right now. Spring and April in particular is galaxy season. And the reason is because the plane of our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is below the horizon this time of year. So when you look into the night sky in April, you're looking outside of the galaxy at other galaxies.
Which is really cool. Some people are getting Jupiter and Saturn. Yeah, you just have to get up really early.
Yeah, there's some hardcore guys in our local astronomy club who get up at 3 in the morning and go out to a field and take some awesome pictures of Jupiter and Saturn.
You
But
have
soon
to
you
do
won't
that.
have to do that.
Yeah, personally, I'm waiting until July when they actually come up before midnight. I'm not that hardcore yet. Yeah, maybe next year.
You did do
Yes.
it one year, 4 a.m. to look at Saturn,
Yeah, I think
and you woke me.
Right.
maybe next year. That'll be my year of planetary obsession, I think. I'm still kind of like grooving on galaxies right now.
They're
So what are we
incredible.
going to get next, do you think, for after this one?
I don't know. You know what's coming up now? Just starting to rise is the Eagle Nebula.
Just in time for 4th of July, right? Right?
Ah.
This is crazy.
Wow, yes, we
Yeah.
can do a 4th of July special with the
Jeez.
Eagle
Totally
Nebula.
could.
Yeah.
But the
Just
E-
like how we had like the ghost for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the Eagle Nebula is what's the famous Pillars of Creation that Hubble image is from, so we can actually take a look at that too.
That
live.
might be going away too.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So, yeah, good.
Isn't that? Yep, things go away.
Indeed.
Might already be
Like,
gone.
like that little guy in there.
Yes, it's gone. It's probably
Yeah.
gone now.
Well, hey, you know, if it happened 30 million years ago, who knows?
It's gone. It's long gone.
Could be gone.
It's joined with the
become-
other.
right.
Yes. It's
A bigger,
created
brighter galaxy.
new
Yeah.
gas for new baby stars in that
Yeah.
big galaxy. So
Yeah, it's okay.
the combination is actually alright. It doesn't get completely destroyed. It just merges.
Fine.
All right. Well, I think we got a pretty enough image here, so I'm satisfied.
That's pretty. Yeah.
Don't forget to put questions or things you'd like to see in the comments. and
Yep.
Visit Boldly Going.
Yep. And once again, we are the Kane family. I'm Frank and Emily and Tori and Kerri. Say goodnight, everyone. And
Good night,
will,
everyone.
And we will leave you with an inspirational quote from Krista McAuliffe from The Challenger.